Dedicated, determined, dependable. This is News 10 ABC at 6.
I find the defendant, Herman Robinson, guilty as charged.
Guilty verdict. A judge convicts a Schenectady man of rape and murder in a horrific case that shocked the capital region. But first,
we continue following developing news.
It's time to put this thing, to end this, period.
It ended with more than a dozen bison dead after they escaped from a farm roaming 2 counties, creating quite the scene today. Good evening. Thanks so much for being with us. I'm John Gray.
And I'm Lydia Colbita. A dangerous situation in Rensselaer and Albany counties. More than a dozen bison roaming in neighborhoods, even on the crowded thruway.
While many considered it a kind of a funny situation initially, it didn't become that. Police were very nervous something tragic would happen with these bison.
And that prompted officers to act fast, and that's also why it ended with all of the bison dead. We have team coverage of this bizarre event. News 10 ABC's Anya Tucker is live in Queens with the latest. And Lindsay Nielsen spoke with family members at the farm.
Let's begin with Anya, who is live where this all ended in Queens. Anya.
Well, in a press conference today, Sheriff Craig Apple said nobody wanted to have anything to do with putting these animals down. But when law enforcement saw that they were putting the public at risk, they knew that they had to do something, and that something had to be pretty drastic. Gunshots ringing in the air. It was a signal that the chaotic afternoon had ended. The owner of Gem Farms Buffalo, where the bison were raised for meat, said 15 of his animals got loose from his Castleton property Thursday afternoon. He believes they swam across the Hudson River to the town of Bethlehem. The farmer and police unable to corral the massive animals as they wandered through neighborhoods and even crossed this railroad track. Police say tranquilizing the animals was not an option due to their tough hides and that it may never have even worked.
And after we spoke with several state veterinarians, the decision was made that the family has the right to shoot the animals.
The bison really posed a serious risk to public safety when they crossed the busy thruway. Drivers thankfully stopping to let them go by. Around 1 o'clock, a state police helicopter located the herd as it made its way into a ravine in Queens. That is where police say gunmen hired by the farmer began shooting the animals. But the sheriff says things quickly got out of control.
You're not going to shoot a buffalo in the backside and put that animal down. And it was time to end the situation. It was done. It was over. It was becoming reckless. This is not the Wild Wild West. This is the town of Bethlehem and the town of Queens. And it was time to end it.
Many people have questioned why the bison had to be put down. Thomas Gallagher from the Cornell Extension put it like this.
I don't think they understand what these animals can do and how powerful they are. And there have been people actually mauled by bison. And they won't stop once they get you on the ground unless somebody's there to either chase them away or dispose of them. You know, they can kill a person very easily.
The sheriff said that he actually detained one of the farmer's so-called hired guns because, as he said, the man refused to immediately put down one of the bison that had been shot and, as the sheriff said, was suffering, instead choosing to shoot the other bison that were in the ravine. As for the farmer, he said that this will be a devastating financial loss for him. Not only has he lost 15 of his animals, he says that the meat is now not even desirable for anyone and that he won't be able to sell it. Live in Queens, Anya Tucker, News 10, ABC.
All right, now let's talk about that for a second. This is more than a financial loss for the family that owns this farm. These were their bison, and today's events are taking an emotional toll as well, watching them get gunned down. News 10 ABC's Lindsay Nielsen spoke with family members. She has their exclusive story.
It's a sad day for the owner of Gem Farms. They lost half of their herd of bison, they tell me, and they were upset for many different reasons because of the loss of these animals and also the financial loss.
It's devastating. It really is.
Diane Bailey was beside herself when I showed up at Gem Farms. She says a herd of around 15 bison escaped from her family farm Thursday afternoon.
Someone called.
Bailey says she watched news reports in horror today showing the bison, which had swam across the Hudson overnight.
It was quite hard to watch because there was youngsters there, there was pregnant mothers and, you know, the cows. And knowing that they're terrified. I mean, they're lost. They don't know where home is.
As a state police helicopter tracked the herd while they crossed I-90 and wandered through neighborhoods, Bailey knew a tough decision was ahead.
We hate the thought of having to shoot the buffalo. I mean, that's the last thing we would want to have happen. But given that you can't even safely tranquilize them, they are essentially wild animals, and they're very unpredictable.
Police say with the farm owner's permission, 15 bison were shot by hired guns.
Really unfortunate that so many of them got out. You know, it's been really difficult to deal with because, of course, we care for the animals, but we also have to think about the people that are involved as well, the situation that puts everybody in.
Bailey says it's also a major financial loss as the animals are sold for meat.
As we lose them, and we're also losing the potential in the calves that they're carrying.
As for how the animals got out,
it was in the lower pasture. It was down in the woods, and they broke through the fence.
the family tells me they want to thank law enforcement and everyone that helped in this situation. And of course, they are very upset but happy that no one was injured by the herd. In Castleton, Lindsay Nielsen, News 10 ABC.
All right, Lindsay, stay with News 10 ABC on the air and online for the latest on this Bison story. News 10 ABC's Rachel Yankunis. She is working the story right now. She'll have the latest on this beginning at 10 o'clock tonight. In the meantime, you can check them at news10.com for any updates or photos. We'll be careful what photos we do post, though.
The other top story we are following tonight, guilty on all charges for a Schenectady man accused of rape and murder.
A judge convicting Herman Robinson of repeatedly sexually assaulting a young girl, killing the baby he fathered with her. News 10 ABC's Nicole Hart was in the courtroom when the verdict was read. Joining us live outside the Schenectady County Courthouse with more. Nicole.
John, Linnea, the courtroom filled up quickly this afternoon. Members of law enforcement, the members of the district attorney's office, the victim and her family were all present to listen to the judge announce his verdict.
I find the defendant, Herman Robinson, guilty as charged.
Herman Robinson showed no emotion as Supreme Court Justice Michael Kokoma announced his verdict. Guilty as charged on all 7 counts against him. Those include rape and murder charges.
Do people have anything further this afternoon?
No, Your Honor.
Does the defense have anything further this afternoon? We are adjourned for sentencing.
Surrounded by several officers, Robinson was placed into handcuffs and escorted out of the courtroom.
If bail was previously set for this defendant by the county court, bail is canceled and he's remanded to the custody of the Schenectady County Sheriff without bail.
Schenectady County District Attorney Bob Carney held a press conference immediately following today's verdict. Also giving statements, ADA's Tracy Bernice and Christina Tremonte, co-counsel for this trial.
Her words, her demeanor, everything she said, when you hear it and hear her tell her story, you know that it is credible.
I'm not going to give my opinion on what I think of Mr. Robinson, but certainly he spoke a lot to us in his writings.
The victim was in the courtroom today. She did not want to give a statement. However, the judge did tell her she could give an impact statement at sentencing if she wants to. Bernice did have this to say about the now 20-year-old college student.
This is somebody who is like a phoenix, has risen from ashes and is now living. And that's exactly what she's doing now. She's living.
Now, Robinson's attorneys did not want to comment today, saying that they will not comment until he is sentenced. That is scheduled for late May. And according to the district attorney's office, when he is sentenced, Robinson faces 100 years to life in prison. Live in Schenectady, Nicole Hart, News 10 ABC.
Thank you so much, Nicole.